Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome everyone to this meeting of the Boston Art Commission. My name is Birgit Worster, and I'm the Director of Public Art in the Mayor's Office of Arts and Culture. In that capacity, I'm also the Director of the Boston Art Commission. Let's all take a moment to update our names and pronouns, as well as make sure we are muted. In accordance with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, we are conducting this meeting virtually. As a reminder, this was extended throughout 2026. To ensure public access to the deliberations of the Boston Art Commission, the public can join this meeting through telephone and video conferencing. For those of you with us today, this meeting is being recorded and closed captioning is available. You can access it at the bottom of the screen. If you have trouble locating the button, please chat us for assistance. The Mayor's Office of Arts and Culture and the Boston Art Commission believe that public art is any artwork installed in publicly accessible spaces where they can be experienced by everyone for free. For transparency and community input, artworks proposed for City of Boston property are reviewed and discussed at public meetings of the Boston Art Commission on a regular, usually monthly basis. Working together with the public art team in the Mayor's Office of Arts and Culture, the Boston Art Commission is an independent board composed of 2 ex officio and 7 volunteer community members appointed by the mayor. The BAC has exclusive authority to approve and commission artworks intended to be added to the city's collection or be placed on city property. The public art team in MOAC facilitates the Boston Art Commission public meetings and manages all phases, daily operations, and duties related to public art projects cited on or proposed for City of Boston property in collaboration with the Boston Art Commission, community members, and colleagues of the City of Boston. And here's our team. I'll pass it to you, John.
Thanks, Birgit. Welcome, everyone. I call this public hearing to order at 4:32 p.m. Today, the Commission is holding its monthly public meeting, which are generally held on the second Tuesday of every month, though for this month and next month, they will be on Wednesdays. Thanks for your cooperation. And we hope you'll continue to join us. We engage in discussions about public art in Boston in order to foster the creation and collection of artworks that reflect the people, ideas, histories, and futures of Boston, which is located on the traditional homeland of the Massachusetts people and the neighboring Wampanoag and Nipmuc peoples. We acknowledge the atrocities committed against Indigenous peoples, all of the communities that have been subsequently harmed, and the ways in which colonialism has created systemic oppression. We recognize the continuing presence of these communities and the Indigenous peoples represented in the city's residents, and in addition to those in the diaspora. We also recognize that Boston exists as a result of the forced labor and economic extraction from enslaved African Americans. I'll now take roll call of commissioners to confirm a quorum. After I state your name, Commissioner, please say here. I begin with Vice Chair James Mason.
Here.
Caitlin Lowry.
Here.
Kenny Mascari.
Here.
Thanks, Kenny. Abigail Norman.
Here.
Ian Altavere.
Here.
Nigel Jacob. Seems Nigel's not here, but we do have a quorum, so we can proceed. On this slide, you'll see today's agenda, which is also posted publicly on the city's website, boston.gov. Now we'll review meeting minutes from last month's meeting. Are there any comments or modifications a commissioner would like to make for the July meeting minutes? Hearing none, would any commissioner like to make a motion to approve the July meeting minutes?
I make a motion to approve the July meeting minutes.
Thanks, Kenny. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Caitlin. After I say your name, please say yes if you agree with the motion. James?
Yes.
Caitlin?
Yes.
Kenny?
Yes.
Abigail?
Yes.
Ian?
Yes.
And I'm a yes as well. The motion passes. Thanks very much. And I'll now pass to Birgit, who will highlight presentations for public review and give the director's report.
Thank you, John. Today's agenda includes the following presentations for review. Roost, a long-term mural as part of a canvas of culture. For Accessioning, this mural is at the Winship Elementary School in Brighton by artists Ethan and Vita Murrow. And Titan Proud, a long-term mural as a part of a canvas of culture for final design. This mural is at the New Mission High School by artist Jeremy Biggers. And Knowledge Pursued, Wisdom Imparted, a long-term mural for Canvas of Culture, final design at the William Ohrenberger School in West Roxbury by artist Michael Talbot. And for administrative review and recommendations, we have the South Street Courts Collaborative Mural Project, a temporary mural for final design at the South Street Courts and Mall in Jamaica Plain by artist Ruby Rose. The Mother's Rest mural, a temporary mural for final design in Dorchester by artists Cameron Teleau, Azia, Carle, and Princess Gabby Duhart. And Thresholds, temporary installation for final design at Golden Stairs Terrace Park in East Boston. The artist is Zephyr Architects. And for further administrative review, we have 3 projects from the Unmonument program. Cabin in the Sky, a temporary installation as part of Unmonument for final design at the Overlook Ruins in Franklin Park in Jamaica Plain, the artist Ife Franklin. Caminantes, Wayfarers, a temporary installation as part of Unmonument for final design at LoPresti Park in East Boston by artist Salvador Jiménez-Flores. And Stone Maps, Routiers for the Dispossessed, a temporary installation for Unmonument, final design at Cops Hill Terrace in the North End by artist Kian Williams. And for our projects for commissions in fabrication and installation, we have Quest 9's Mosaic mural fabrication nearing installation alongside the vinyl graphics she designed for the cafeteria. The team had the opportunity to visit Artaic with the artist and see the mural in production using their advanced robotic technology for murals. Artaic combines digital design with robotic fabrication to precisely place individual tiles and recreate the artist's original artwork as a detailed mosaic. The visit gave us an insight into the process and also opened up new ideas and possibilities for future mosaic productions. And last week, the public art team and the Parks Department joined Tori Fair for the final site visit to Copley Square to confirm final placement of her series of sculptures for In Full Bloom in advance of the anticipated installation, which will now take place in mid-September. August is one of our busiest months as many Canvas of Culture projects move from design into fabrication and installation. At Mattahunt Elementary, Abel Jackson and Ayana Mack are currently installing their murals in the library and cafeteria, with completion expected by the end of the month. Georgina Kima recently completed her mural at Carter School, which will be reproduced as a large graphic scrim for installation on the school's north facade later this year, creating a highly visible public artwork in addition to this scaled piece at the school's entrance. At Sarah Roberts Elementary, Laika Nuna Yarwar will also complete the second phase of his installation and the cafeteria vinyl and mosaic designed by Quest 9 that I mentioned previously will also be installed. With artists, fabricators, and installers all working simultaneously, August is an exciting milestone as these creative concepts become permanent integrated features for BPS, ready to welcome students back for the new school year this fall. And for commissions in design, as for the Copley Square Public Art Project, still in design, the poetry component is moving forward toward finalizing a site within Copley Square Park, and meetings have resumed with the family of Danielle Lagros-George, the late poet whose work How Many Kinds of Love is proposed for engraving in the park. The light projections and pavers and walkway components with Adam Frank, Jessica Grant, and Diana Weissman also continue to progress through their respective planning and design phases. We have some events coming up this fall. Come join us on September 24th in the mezzanine at City Hall for our second City Hall sessions, where you can meet the MOAC team, take a tour of the City Hall galleries, and learn more about upcoming events and programs supported by the Arts and Culture team for the City of Boston. These City Hall sessions are quarterly events, so keep an eye out for the future sessions if you are unable to attend this month on September 24th. And Give Them Their Flowers, an unveiling of a temporary memorial hosted by the Boston Women's Heritage Trail, will be held on September 2nd at 5 p.m. at Cedar Grove Cemetery in Dorchester. Created through the Unmonument Initiative by artist Ikwa Holmes in partnership with the Boston Women's Heritage Trail, this memorial will share the names of 133 Black women buried at the Cedar Grove Cemetery and honor their lives, inviting the public to reflect on the histories that have been overlooked and the importance of remembrance. And please join us in late September for Cabin in the Sky, an immersive 3-day Afrofuturist experience by artist Ife Franklin. Presented as part of the Unmonument Initiative, set in Franklin Park, the installation features a life-size ancestral cabin, performances, projections, and participatory community activations. Journey from past to present to future through the Ancestor Slave, Freedom Cabin, Ancestor Procession, and Hush Harbor, where community-submitted images of African-descended ancestors come to life through projection, soundscape, ring shout, and collective ritual. I think this will be a really exciting event later this fall in late September, and we hope you all can join us there. And now I'll pass it to you, John.
Thanks, Birgit. A lot of good work going on. Well done to everyone on the MOAC team. We'll now move on to the items on the agenda for review, public testimony, and commission vote. Here is how you can participate in today's meeting. If you have technical difficulties, you can ask questions in the chat and a member of staff will help you. When public testimony is requested, you can press the raise your hand icon and we'll call on you. And if you're calling in, press *9 to raise your hand.
Our goal is to make this meeting a good experience for all so that community members feel comfortable sharing their feedback and questions. When you're called on, please state your name, title, program, organization. Please keep questions and comments project specific. Be mindful of and respectful of other people's time. I really flubbed that one, didn't I? When speaking so that others can participate and feel comfortable adding their comments. You can submit longer written testimony to bac@boston.gov. All written testimony will be added to the commissioners' folders in advance of the monthly public meetings. While you may disagree with other attendees' testimony, you may not interrupt them during their allotted time. And this one's really important. As a reminder, presenters should keep their presentations time under 5 minutes. Our next and first project for deliberation is Roost, a long-term mural as part of the Canvas of Culture Accessioning. And Amanda, I am passing this off to you.
Fantastic, thank you. So our first project tonight brings us inside of the Winship Elementary School for the accessioning of 2 stairwell murals by the 2 Murrows as part of a Canvas of Culture. Next slide. Located in a highly visible circulation spaces, these murals have transformed the central stairwells of the school into welcoming environments and creating opportunities to showcase student artwork and school celebrations via the new magnetic frames adorning the walls as part of the murals. Artists Ethan and Vita Murrow, working collaboratively as the 2 Murrows, bring together backgrounds in visual art, storytelling, education, and children's literature. Their practice and experience creating imaginative, community-centered work makes them especially well suited for this particular project. Next slide. The mural concept celebrates the school and student ideas by turning the stairwells into flexible gallery spaces, each featuring variations on the themes of owls and other natural motifs, the mascot of the school, and creating evolving exhibition spaces. We'll now just walk you through a few photos from the final installation of the work in the next few slides. And this last image coming up just shows some more of the beautiful detail and care of this work. Next slide, please. For the maintenance plan, the mural was finished with high quality protective varnish that's rated for interior and exterior use, which was designed to protect the mural from sun and natural wear and tear. There's a lot of sunlight in these stairwells, so they took extra care here. Maintenance includes regular visual inspections, graffiti removal, gentle annual cleaning, and standard for all of our Canvas of Culture programs, murals in the Boston Public Schools. We will be doing biannual visual inspections with BPS and longer term professional assessments. Yeah, and happy to answer any questions, but that is a review of Roost by the 2 Murrows.
Thanks, Amanda. Commissioners, does anyone have any questions or comments about the accessioning of this project?
I don't have a question. I just wanted to make a comment that I love how the artist created the exhibition space at like a lower hang, thinking about kids and having that sight line for them a little bit lower rather than adults. I think that was really lovely. So
Agreed.
I have a quick comment as well. Love the artistic product. I don't remember the relations between owls, the school, the city. Would love to see more connections between, educational properties, historical components like art, not just for the sake of art, but also functional art as well. So they're cool, but would love to see more I don't know, some other components that really reflect the community as well, unless there's a huge owl community and that's cool that I'm not aware of.
Huge owl community. The owl is their mascot, and there is another mural that I'm excited to present to you all, or that is being installed. So I'm excited to present for Accessioning at the Winship as well.
Any other commissioners? So I'd like to open it up to the general public. Does anyone in the general public have any questions or comments about the accessioning? Hearing none, is there a commissioner? I see that little clapping hand go up there. Is there a commissioner who wishes to make a motion about the accessioning? Out there? Someone?
I'd like to recommend the mural, the name of which I'm now forgetting. Sorry, the mural at the Winship Elementary School for accessioning.
Thanks, Abigail. And it's Roost is the name of the mural.
Roost, you can pop that in.
And is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you very much. I will call your name as we vote now and say yay or nay when I call it. Chair John.
Yay.
Yay. Ian.
Yay.
Caitlin.
Yay.
Kenny.
Abstaining.
And Abigail.
Yes.
I am a yay as well. This actually came around really quickly from when I first saw the proposal, so I'm glad to see that it is up and it will be thriving. Thank you so much and congratulations. And so as we move along, our next project for deliberation is Titan Proud, a long-term mural as part of the Canvas of Culture. And once again, Amanda, I am passing this off to you.
Thank you. This next project takes us to New Mission High School in Hyde Park, where artist Jeremy Biggers has created a series of site-specific graphic murals for one of the building's most active spaces, the cafeteria. Spanning 6 recessed walls, the new long-term artwork brings together Jeremy's distinctive style with imagery and values that reflect and resonate with the school community. I'll now let Jeremy take us through the process and the inspiration behind his design.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody. Can everybody hear me? We're good? Okay, cool. So my name is Jeremy Biggers. I'm an artist based out of Dallas, Texas. I have a degree in graphic design. I went to Booker T. Washington High School here in Dallas, which is an art high school. And throughout my time, being an artist, being a muralist and giving work to people that grew up like me that, weren't going to museums and weren't going to galleries. It was something that was very important to me to be able to give murals back to little kids that grew up like I grew up. You can go ahead and go to the next slide. And so when I was reached out to do this mural for New Mission, I knew I wanted to incorporate the students and have them be part of the process and not just me show up and just paint something. I wanted to be something that everyone in the building, everyone in the city would be proud of. And so I wanted to incorporate the rich history of Boston as well as the history of New Mission and their athletic programs as part of the process. So I wanted to include all of their core values and their pillars into the design. You can go ahead and go to the The next slide. And so the mural is going to be in the cafeteria, 6 separate panels. And you can go to the next slide. And so this image is me working with those students and getting feedback on the things that they found important to them as part of this process. You know, things like the history of Boston, things like, excuse me, you know, they were really avid sports fans, so they wanted to include, you know, the rich history of Boston sports. And so being able to bounce ideas off of them and get their feedback in real time, and then work with them throughout the process was something that was amazing throughout that process. You go to the next slide. And so here are all 6 panels. Obviously, they're not spaced all the way wide. So the top 3 are the ones that are on the left side of the cafeteria. The bottom 3 are the ones that are on the right side. At this scale, it looks like, you know, there's a lot going on, and there is a lot going on. But obviously, at mural scale, a lot of these elements are going to read a lot better than just on a computer screen right now. But each of the core values is spelled out on the panels. We have tenacity, integrity, tolerance, academic excellence, and nurture. Those spell out the word Titan, which is the mascot of New Mission. And so incorporating things like, you know, lighthouses, having the waving lines representing the ports and the ocean views, as well as the historical sentimental value of just the historical reference of Boston being at that first day of America, being in existence is something that I wanted to make sure we incorporated as well. So obviously you have the John Hancock signature. We have the basketball on the second panel, the Paul Revere ride. Wanted to incorporate the rich coastal nature of the lobster and the state bird here on the tolerance panel, as well as incorporating, like I said, each panel has one representation of one of the sports teams at the school. So, like I said, the first one, sorry, the second one is basketball. Then there's the lobster stuff, and then we have baseball, the track and field, tennis, and the swimming team. And so this is the mock-up of what it will look like in the space. And then you can go to the next slide. And the color palette here is the school colors. I wanted to be really heavy on leaning into, you know, the state, the school colors, as well as some of the state significant things, such as, like I said, the state bird, the shape of Massachusetts is in the background of one of these panels, but also wanted to incorporate, like I said, my own signature style of the polka dots and include like the state flower and stuff like that.
Awesome. I will kind of jump in here, and Jeremy can answer questions as well. But we had commissioned this work as a design only commission from Jeremy. So we're taking the graphics he has created and we'll be producing them and getting them printed and installed. The installation will take place late August, early September, doing everything we can to make sure the installers are all Corey checked and certified. And this piece can be completed before school starts back up September 8th. Next slide. A little bit more about the fabrication and the installation plan itself here. We are working with fabricators and installers from Everett. They will be conducting a final site survey, cleaning and prepping the walls, and installing a framing system and graphics. We go here, there's just a couple of visuals about the silicone edge graphic system. It is printed on a specialized fabric with a thin silicone strip sewn around the edges, which fits into a recessed channel in an aluminum frame. The result is a high-res image that has really a very minimal, almost frameless appearance and a singular seamless graphic. Half of the surfaces of the walls are painted brick and the other are plaster. So this approach was suggested and recommended by the fabricator to maintain a visual consistency along all 6 of the works. And next slide. So for the maintenance plan, very similar to all of our Canvas programs, we will be doing biannual visual inspections in collaboration with DPS. and consistently assessing for any damage. And they should be low maintenance, and they can also be kind of cleaned with mild cleaners and solvents as well. So yeah, periodical inspections, make sure the edges are also in place will be something we'll be taking extra care with this work. Great, and thank you so much.
Thanks, Jeremy. And Amanda, before I open it up to the rest of the commissioners, in that last image, and I believe I know the answer, it looks like the column was wrapped with part of that image, and I'm guessing that it's just the wall that is actually being imaged, right?
Correct. If you can imagine the column ahead, and I think it was just the way that we were able to graphically represent it in the time frame.
Oh,
But it'll be on the wall, not on the column.
would have been interesting, but just wanted to clarify.
Maybe future.
Commissioners, does anyone have a comment or a question about this final design?
Jeremy, I just wanted to say that with the incorporation of the school, both mascot, their sporting events, as well as the integration of themes of Massachusetts, I think it's a very rich selection of murals. So I think you've done well to incorporate as much imagery as you can.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can. Love,
Kenny,
yes, sorry, love the layers and the hidden gems that are not very obvious that you can kind of see. And I think like every time you look at it, you can find a different piece of Boston's representation of young people. So I love the layers and how you're able to convey multiple um, ideas and icons on these various panels.
Thank you.
are there any other commissioners who wish to make a comment?
I guess I'll just say I also love how you worked with the students to come up with this. I feel like when they're in that space, they're going to feel so proud and so a part of it. Looking at the visual and also the written words. So I think that's really wonderful.
Thank you.
Does anyone in the general public have a question or a comment about this final design? I wonder, commissioners, does anyone want to make a motion to approve this final design?
I'll make a motion to approve the final design of Titan Pride.
Thank you, Ian. Is there a second?
I can second that. Thanks, James.
Thank you, John. And when I call your name, commissioners, please say yay or nay. John?
Yes.
Kim?
Yay.
Caitlin?
Yes.
Kenny?
Yes.
Abigail?
Yes.
I am a yes as well. Congratulations on the final design. I can't wait to see it up. We are now moving along to our next project for deliberation, and it is Knowledge Pursued, Wisdom Imparted. And once again, Amanda, I am passing this off to you.
Thank you. Our next project brings us to the William H. Ohrenberger School in West Roxbury, where Michael Talbot will be creating a new long-term mural as part of the Canvas of Culture program. It was especially important to the Ohrenberger community to collaborate with a local Boston-based artist, making Michael a natural fit for the project and its connection to the neighborhood. Through two complementary murals, Michael has reimagined the spirit and identity of the Ohrenberger, and I will now pass it over to him to walk us through his process and do them.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay? All right. So, hi, my name is Michael Talbot. I'm a Jamaican-born, Boston-based freelance artist and visual storyteller. I've been working on murals in public art since 2020, and I have been doing additional projects, murals, exhibitions, showcases since 2012. A lot of my work is narrative driven and has a heavy storytelling element. And this is definitely one of the things that I wanted to focus on for this mural for the Ohrenberger. I went to school at Lesley University and studied illustration, graphic design, as well as animation. And I have sought to incorporate all those different areas of study within whatever work that I've done. Next slide, please. So the project will be done on 2 interior walls in the Ohrenberger School. Both of these walls will not be at ground level. They will be elevated. So I'll be utilizing an electric scissor lift to access those spaces above. Next slide. That is the secondary wall, and both of them are within the lobby right by the entranceway of the school. Next slide. So a lot of my work recently I've incorporated imagery and symbolism of stars and constellations as a way of kind of hinting or adding this level of storytelling where I've used stars to represent individuals to kind of talk about this cosmic entity or cosmic power within each of us. And in a way, quite literally, the constellation being a representation of individuals being connected to each other to form community. Next slide. And so throughout the process of research, development, and engaging with students and staff at Ohrenberger, their mascot is also the owl. So that was a huge element that I wanted to consider and include without being too obvious or on the nose with the depiction of it. So also considering that it will be 2 walls, I wanted to ensure that this was a conversation between the 2 walls, but not just that, extending this conversation or connection to all the murals that I've worked on in the past throughout Boston. Next slide. So these are the designs that I worked on. So this is the first one for the larger wall. The imagery of a hand grasping an owl feather, symbolic of the individuals or kids within the school taking charge or grasping their own knowledge and utilizing it to supplement their different practices. So whether it's art and creative practices, whether it's sports or their general studies, as depicted by the student on the far right, using that owl feather now as the pen to do his studies. Next slide. So with this connecting imagery, I wanted to indicate that once they've completed their studies, they now, as full-grown owls, take flight to the wider world to impart that knowledge that they've gathered within the school grounds. And so, as you can see depicted as well, a small constellation in the background. That one is specific to the research that I did for that school. You can go to the next slide. Going back to the inclusion of the feather, this was important for me. As I mentioned, I didn't want it to be as on the nose of representing an owl or an owl face. And so the idea of using this specific feather, which is the flight feather of an owl, was symbolic for me of the kids using this knowledge or this wisdom that they're gaining to take flights beyond where they are currently. Next slide. And the constellation that I mentioned is a previously recognized constellation called Noctua, which is an owl, and it represents the idea of shared wisdom. So the inclusion of this, I felt deepened and strengthened the storytelling aspect that I was trying to go for. Next slide. So part of the community engagement process that I did was I visited the school multiple times, met with staff, met with students, and I presented my work with them and hosted a workshop and brainstorming session with the intent to also get their feedback, get their ideas. I presented the work that I've done throughout Boston, as well as my initial design, and asked them their feedback on like how would they improve on this, what would they want to see included, and based on their feedback, based on their responses, I got a lot of elements that I then used to adjust, change, and incorporate within my design to strengthen it a bit better. Next slide. Another option for community engagement that I'm thinking of implementing post the completion of the mural is the addition of a wisdom board, as I'm calling it, where students and staff are encouraged to leave advice or words of encouragement or different things that could just help brighten everyone's day throughout the process or throughout the day. And so the idea of posting or taking what they want, like imparting knowledge or taking in something that they might need or that might help them. I'm still workshopping this element, and I'll be presenting it to the Ohrenberger directly to get their feedback and figure out what that possible implementation might look like. Next slide. With the school year beginning quickly, I plan on tackling the main wall first, beginning next Monday. This will be all hand painted, and I'll be working throughout the break up until the beginning of school, and starting on the second wall as well. And in the event that it is not completed on time, I have a plan to be there back on holidays and weekends to finish up whatever remaining elements or aspect that there may be. Next slide. So based off of other murals and public art that I've worked on, I plan to use interior wall paint with the Bear line from Home Depot. They are meant for long-term murals and long-term just painting. So they have a life expectancy of 20+ years. They are scuff resistant, stain blocking, weather resistant as well. And I'm also incorporating Posca paint markers, which are permanent and also merge well with the Bear paint. As I mentioned, both walls are above ground level, so I will be utilizing an electric scissor lift to access the walls. And I do have another artist that I'll be subcontracting for assistance, who currently works or is employed at the Ohrenberger, and I have worked with her in the past on previous projects as well. Next slide. Yep, and as I mentioned, given the nature of the materials, they last very long, and they are great for upkeep. So with that, there is no direct need for paint primers or sealants after the installation or before the installation. And with the walls being above ground level and outside of the reach or access of the general public, there's little to no worry of contact from individuals who's passing by.
Thank you, Michael. Commissioners, does anyone have a question or a comment about this final design?
Michael, I love the final design. Well done. It's so punchy and beautiful and inspiring. So I also love how much we're hearing about owls today, who are majestic creatures, and I love them. So
I was just gonna say, Ian, I was like, it's so nice to see two different options of owls as inspiration. I did not know that's where the evening would take us, but it's lovely to see two artists really take on the animal in very different ways. So thank you, Michael. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Any other commissioners? We'll open it up to the general public. Does anyone in the general public have any questions or comments about this final design?
I would just like to add as a comment, Michael, I really applaud your engagement process and your responsiveness to the school's feedback throughout this design process. So just to appreciate and commend you for that. And attendee Deborah has her hand raised. Deborah, you should be able to speak.
I just wanted to say I love the idea of the wisdom board. I think that's what you called it. You know, where so it's like this ongoing living interactive art that will help spread, accepting that the fact that the students also have wisdom to share and input. So it's ongoing input. I really love that idea.
Are there any other hands out there, Birgit?
I don't see any other. Oh, here, one more. Let me see. Yvonne. Yvonne, you should be able to speak.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. We can hear you, Yvonne. Are you
Hello?
there? Hello, we can hear
Hello? Okay, sorry about that.
you. No worries.
I am Yvonne, and I'm from the 1975 Vietnamese Diaspora Memorial Project. And I wanted to also express my support for the gratitude board. I know sometimes kids can be a little fresh sometimes, and they might try to put something inappropriate on the board. So as a small risk that I identified for that, but in general, I think having a space for kids to express themselves and sharing it with the public is always a fabulous idea for them. So I just wanted to share that comment with you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Yvonne. I could spin through, but I don't think I see any more hands. And so, commissioners, you know what to do next. Is there anyone who wishes to make a motion at this time?
I'm happy to make a motion to approve this initial design for knowledge pursued, wisdom imparted.
Thanks, Ian. And is there a second?
I'll second.
Thanks so much. Commissioners, when I call your name, yes or no, yea or nay. John?
Yes.
Ian?
Yes.
Caitlin?
Yes.
Kenny?
Yes.
Abigail?
Yes.
I am a yes, too. Congratulations, and we look forward to seeing the actual mural. I'm hoping the next one is on John.
It is indeed. Our next project for deliberation is South Street Courts Collaborative Mural Project in Jamaica Plain. And Amber, I pass this to you.
One moment. Thank you so much. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'll start off by just giving some background on this project, which is that Ginger Brown, the executive director at Jamaica Plain Center South Main Streets, which I'll call JP Main Streets for short, first reached out to MOAC September of 2025 about a unique project that sought to use art to heal the bond between a diverse community of residents who are at odds. According to the project description, the South Street courts are a neighborhood mainstay in JP. With basketball, tennis, and pickleball courts, they provide a safe and accessible recreation space for many different community members throughout the seasons. In the summer of 2024, the Office of Neighborhood Services, City Councilor Ben Weber, State Rep Sam Montano, and State Senator Liz Miranda, as well as representatives from each sports community, collaborated on a series of guidelines aimed at fostering open communication and goodwill in this shared space. Next slide. To ensure these guidelines are visible and readable for those who use the courts, JP Main Streets has proposed the addition of a colorful text-forward mural along the court's back wall that includes excerpts from the guidelines in English and Spanish with illustrative nods to each sport played on the court. Over the last few months, Ruby Rose, the lead muralist at Bullseye Mural Company, and the student designers at the South Street Youth Center have collaborated on a mural concept for the BAC's review. If approved, JP Main Streets, Bullseye, and SSYC will host a public paint by numbers mural creation this month that brings people together, basketball, pickleball, tennis players, alongside members of the local community to co-create the mural together. For materials, they plan on using Benjamin Moore masonry sealer or a high build masonry primer, 2 coats of Benjamin Moore Regal Select exterior paint, and mural shield, as well as the world's best graffiti coating to help protect the finished mural from UV exposure, weathering, and general wear and tear. And this artwork will be installed August 16th, which is fairly soon. It will take about a week to paint. So if you're a resident or in the neighborhood, definitely stop by. Next slide will show you the design. And I kind of just went through the materials and installation details, but that is the presentation. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Amber. Commissioners, I open this up to any comments. Amber, would you, or whoever is running the PowerPoint, could you go back to the previous slide just so we can take a closer look at it? One question that I had is I know that this is going to be a sort of community initiated creation project, but I also see that there's a lot of text. Is Ruby Rose planning to paint the text on the mural? Do we know how that will come about?
I didn't ask that particular detail, but given that it's a paint by number, I don't know, maybe we can compare it to UK Lee's where hopefully the letters are already written out and folks just have to fill them in. And I'm sure the artist will go in and clean them up.
Okay.
I'm not sure if anyone from the organization is here right now, but I can obviously follow up with you if that's needed.
So in other words, they do all the outlining, the community comes, including the text.
That's my understanding.
Yeah.
It's a paint by number, so I just incorporate the text and the visuals.
Perfect.
Any other commissioners with questions or comments?
I'll just say this is my neighborhood and a very high traffic place that's deeply used by the community.
Thanks, Abigail. Any other commissioners? I now open it up to any members of the public who may have a comment or would like to ask a question. Do I see any hands? I do not. Well, having reviewed this, commissioners, would anyone like to make a motion to approve final design of the South Streets Courts collaboration mural project?
I'll make a motion to approve final design of South Street Courts collaborative mural project.
Thanks so much, Abigail. Do I have a second?
I can second.
Thanks, Caitlin. After I say your name, Commissioner, say yes if you agree with the motion. James,
Yes.
Caitlin,
Yes.
Kenny,
Yes.
Abigail,
Yes.
Ian,
Yes.
and I vote yes as well. The motion passes. Congratulations to all. Abigail, I hope you'll report back once the mural is up and let us know how it looks.
Fair enough.
Our next project for deliberation is Mother's Rest Mural in Dorchester. And Amber, again, I pass this off to you.
Thank you. So this mural that I'm about to present has actually been a true wonder to see develop. And before I go into the full description, I just want to say that in preparation for today's meeting, I noticed that all of the 3 projects that I'm presenting were initiated or facilitated by the Office of Neighborhood Services. So I just want to give a shout out to ONS for just the amazing work that you do connecting community with the Office of Arts and Culture. So with that being said, last summer, a Dorchester ONS rep connected MOAC with Teresa Latson, the president of the United Neighborhood Association in Four Corners. The community advocated for the creation of a mural in honor of Mr. Larry Thornton, a longtime organizer and resident whose health had begun to decline in recent years. But before digging into the technical details of the mural, let me tell you a bit about Mr. Larry. Next slide. A 2023 article in the Bay State Banner declared that in Four Corners, Mr. Larry is the go-to guy. Quote, a builder by trade and gardener in retirement, Thornton is a fixture of community events in the neighborhood. Visitors on any weekend may find him doing volunteer work, carrying a clipboard, hanging flyers, or wielding a shovel in a community garden, end quote. The artists that are working on the mural that I will show in just a moment include local artist Cameron Teleau, who's acting as a project manager and also an artist alongside muralist Asia Carle and Princess Gabby Duhart. I've included their social medias and websites on the screen if you'd like to follow them and get familiar with their work. And as said, this is at Mother's Rest Park where this mural will be installed. I think we can go to the next slide and I'll talk about the materials there. Check where we're at. All right, looking at the design, great. So as far as materials, the team plans on using Kills exterior multi-surface primer, PPG exterior latex paint, Montana spray paint, Posca markers, and then also planning to preserve the site and the asphalt on site with drop clots and one paint sign so that the community knows not to touch it. It's located next to a playground and a lot of kids use the space. So just gonna make sure that the artwork is protected. But as you can see in this image, nature is really the main theme. Mr. Larry's role as a gardener and a steward in the community is really highlighted, and the children that play next to the site and in the neighborhood are also featured in the artwork. And as far as installation, this will be installed the same week as the South Street Courts mural. August 17th to August 23rd is how long it'll take to install. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Amber. Commissioners, I open it up to you with any questions or comments you may have.
Amber, I'd just like to echo your appreciation for this project for honoring a local neighborhood hero and really celebrating the amazing people throughout the city who do this kind of, who perform this kind of love for our neighborhoods. It's a beautiful thing, and I'd love to see this recognition.
I think off of Abigail's comment, is there a process for communities who want to honor community members in that way that is not a memorial? Or like, is there a process that either MOAC, the BAC, because I know we've received requests in the past, so I've seen emails where people want to honor a community member, and I was just curious what that process would look like or how this one came about.
That's a good question and a tricky one. So Birgit, feel free to jump in.
Yeah, I'm happy to speak to that, Kenny. And we have very clear guidelines around long-term works that are monuments and memorials or commemorations as far as like the process for how long the person how long it has been since that person has passed and other directives like that. In this case, this is a temporary mural, and in that case, there is some more like kind of openness around that process. And this project came through the public art and design proposal process as a temporary mural. So, if that hopefully that answers that, speaks to that a little bit. And so that is a process that others could follow for temporary commemorations for people.
Thank you.
Kenny, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Any other commissioners?
Can I just ask, and sorry, maybe because I'm newer on this, how long does temporary mean? What's the lifespan?
Temporary is under 5 years.
Under 5 years. Thank you.
Sure.
I now open it up to any members of the public who'd like to make a comment or ask a question.
Actually, John,
Scrolling.
could I ask one more question?
Yeah, sure. Of course, Abigail.
I'm just curious, this isn't a Canvas of Culture project, it's something else. It's an administrative recommendation. Does Department of Neighborhood Services pay for this, or how do the finances work?
This is a combination, Abigail, I think, of community funded and grant funded. So
Okay.
it's not a city commissioned project.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I see Teresa has her hand up. Teresa, you should be able to speak.
And, oh, if she
Can
can
you
speak,
hear
that's
me?
great. She should be on the panel. Teresa, welcome.
Oh,
Thank you. I first want to say thank you to Amber and Amanda for assisting in moving this project forward. This is actually not a memorial. Mr. Larry is still with us, and we wanted to be able to honor him while he's still with us. Now we're not sure if he will truly understand what's going on because he has dementia now. I spoke to him last week and he still remembered me, which is a blessing. But this is just the community's way of loving on Mr. Larry and honoring the true hero that he has been to Four Corners in the city overall. So I just want to say thank you. We're looking forward to possibly having this done by September. We have an annual backpack giveaway, and we would like to have Mr. Larry there and do a sort of ribbon cutting. So again, I just want to say thank you, but Mr. Larry is still with us, and we're blessed that he's still with us, and hopefully he'll be able to see how much our community loves him. Thank you.
thank you so much,
Teresa.
Teresa.
Yeah, thank you so much, and for your work in instigating this project. Any other community members who would like to make a comment or ask a question?
I also just want to acknowledge project manager and artist Cameron Teleau in the panel if he has anything to add, but no pressure, Cameron. But thank you for being here.
I appreciate the addition. Thank you very much, panelists. And I just really wanted to actually say one last thing about Mr. Larry. Mr. Larry is amazing community member. He teaches the kids how to plant and garden as well too. He has been, from what Miss Teresa has told me, a pinnacle, like a pinnacle and a pillar within his community, and honoring him it's going to be one of the great joys of being an artist in my lifetime. So I appreciate being part of the project. Thank you guys, and yeah.
Thanks for sharing that, Cameron, and thank you for your work. Well, with that, would any commissioner like to make a motion to approve final design of Mother's Rest mural?
I'll move to approve final design of the temporary mural, Mother's Rest mural.
Thanks, Caitlin. Do I have a second?
Yes, I'll second.
Thanks, James. After I say your name, Commissioner, please say yes if you agree with the motion. James?
Yes.
Caitlin?
Yes.
Kenny? You there, Kenny? I'll come back to you. Abigail?
Yes.
Ian?
Yes.
I vote yes as well. Kenny, are you there? Well, the motion will still pass. So congratulations, Teresa, Cameron, and everyone in Dorchester. This will be a great addition to the neighborhood, and we all look forward to seeing it realized very soon. Our next project for deliberation is Thresholds. Amber, once again, I pass to you to introduce.
Thank you. So the Threshold series is an exciting example of the kind of temporary public art I'll say I want to see in the city of Boston. I can't speak for the entire city. But over the summer, the internal review of this network of gateway-like installations throughout East Boston has required the complex coordination of several city agencies, including the Office of Neighborhood Services, Parks Department, Public Art Team, the Cultural Planning Team, the Disabilities Commission, the Public Improvement Commission, and even Risk Management. This required weeks of close collaboration with David Lenk as well, the Executive Director of Project Starboard, and careful discussion among partners that allowed us to uphold safety standards while honoring this project's cultural value and accommodating the project's tight timeline. Next slide. Standing at 8 feet tall, about 6 feet wide, and 4 feet deep, the Corten steel archway installations are designed to help residents and visitors engage with East Boston's history and contemporary identity through 5 locations that explore the themes of arrival, crossing, making, adaptation, and belonging. The intended impact is to increase awareness of East Boston's cultural heritage, strengthen connections between residents and place, encourage walking and exploration, and provide an accessible public experience that can be enjoyed by people of all ages and backgrounds. The thresholds will be displayed at 3 MassDOT locations and 2 City of Boston locations. The middle photo is actually one of the thresholds that's already been installed at a MassDOT location. But today's presentation is specifically focused on one of the City of Boston locations at Golden Stairs Terrace Park in East Boston. As far as engagement and collaboration with ONS, Project Starboard has held meetings with local civic organizations such as Jeffries Point Neighborhood Association, Eagle Hill Civic Association, Friends of the Mary Ellen Welch Greenway Board, East Boston Main Streets Board, East Boston Social Centers, and Excel Academy. It is made of Corten steel. I did describe a little bit of the fabrication. But for installation, this artwork does require 2 feet of excavation for a reinforced concrete foundation. The Blue Atlantic fabricators, who are part of the team, will deliver and install each assembly via self-contained boom truck. And one thing that I should note is that Blue Atlantic fabricators, I learned on my last site visit, is located just minutes away from this very site, which is really super local fabrication, which is exciting. But that will be installed with a self-contained boom truck, which will lower the threshold directly onto the foundation and affixed via an anchor bolted base plate. The deinstallation will also be done via U-bolted and haul-away by the same truck type. Each site will be fully restored after these pieces come down. They will be on display for 2 years, and they will return to pre-existing conditions. So there's one being proposed for probably a right-of-way, but this one will be in the grass next to some plants, and they have committed to replanting and remediating that site. Last but not least, all thresholds are designed with accessibility code in mind by experienced architects and engineers. So the content and the aperture, are at multiple heights to afford those with low vantage points, for example, someone on a wheelchair or just at a lower vantage point, or even high vantage points to experience the installation equally. The subject matter reference board, which you can kind of see in the renderings there and in the photo, they will be programmed predominantly with images, which will be curated with our their public partners. Let's see, what else should I mention? So there are 5 themes, in case I didn't make that clear. And these themes will be printed on that signage as well as a QR code. So the signage is really straightforward, but it takes you to a website with multiple languages and more information. And then the light that you do see in that artwork is solar powered. And we coordinated with parks so that it's not lit all night, and we're still adhering to parks' standards for how they manage safety in our parks at night, if that makes sense. But it has been really a a complex review process. And I thank all of our partners for their involvement, and David as well for this amazing project. Thank you.
Thanks, Amber. Commissioners, I open it up to you for any questions or comments.
I'd just like to take this moment to give a shout out to Amber and her team. I should have done the same for the Canvas of Culture team. I recognize that that everything that comes before the commission embodies huge amounts of work and thinking, relationships, and effort before we ever see them. And so just want to give that shout out to both teams.
Thanks, Abigail.
Amber, have you been able to see what kind of images they're planning on installing inside these? You said there were 5 themes, but it seems to me, I think the organization's interested in the history of the harbor, but, right?
Yes, I have seen the renderings. They are pretty straightforward. There's an image at the top. There's the name of the theme. I can try to pull one up. I didn't include it in this short presentation. But a lot of the imagery that I saw in the signage is reflected on the website. So if you're on it right now, if you have a chance, you should be able to align the photos used there. As noted in the presentation, it looks like they were selected along with project partners. So I'm not sure if the renderings that I received were subject to change, but they are historical imagery and photographs, if that makes sense.
And this not-for-profit is the one who's funding what sounds like a pretty expensive fabrication process with Corten steel?
Project Starboard.
Any other commissioners with questions or comments?
Yeah. Do you have have they shared any data around the one that's already up in terms of how it's been received, how are folks engaging with it, or is that not something that they're looking to track?
I've seen some photos, and I think there's some stuff on social media as well. It looks like a hit. I've seen a couple of folks, beloved community members that David has worked closely with, visiting and excited. I think his friend's child was like playing in the gate. So it's really beloved. And I know that folks are in anticipation, especially for this gate. I didn't get to mention this in my presentation, but its location is significant. And I don't want to butcher the history, but I understand that the staircase located next to this park is significant, just that site in general and its use by the immigrant community historically and continuously. So this is supposed to be the #1 site, which it represents arrival and immigration, and it's supposed to kick off this experience. So a lot of anticipation and support for this project.
Any other commissioner questions? I now open it up to any members of the public who'd like to ask a question or make a comment. Don't see any hands up. Well, with that, I'm curious, would any commissioner like to make a motion to approve thresholds in East Boston?
I make a motion to accept the temporary installation of thresholds in East Boston final design.
Thanks so much, Abigail. Do I have a second?
I second that.
Oh, you got it,
You got
Kenny.
there first. Commissioner, after I say your name, please say yes if you agree with the motion. James?
Yes.
Caitlin?
Yes.
Kenny?
Yes.
Abigail?
Yes.
Ian?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. The motion passes. Excited to see this realized in East Boston.
I do want to note that I see that David Link is attending. I've prompted my staff to invite him to the panel should he have anything to add, but I realize
Sure.
that we are tight on time. Might have to move.
Yeah, David, you should be able to to speak if you'd like to say a few words. David, are you?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. Yes, I'm here. I'm more than happy to answer questions. There were a few of them. One of them was about the images. We have two selected. We're working very closely with the East Boston History Society, as well as the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Advancement in the final selection of those two images. But there are two very powerful ones that we've been circling around of immigrants arriving in two different periods of history of East Boston, right down the set of stairs. One looks like a ship that must have come in from somewhere in Europe that shows a few different nationalities, including a young child saluting the flag in the 1800s. And the second one is in the 1920s when quotas first started to be introduced into the United States. And it's aboard a ship in the harbor awaiting the go-ahead to actually whether or not it will be accepted based on those quotas. And you could see the people just waiting in anticipation of whether or not they'll be able to start their new life in America. Those are my two favorites. Hopefully everyone else agrees as we move towards selection.
David, thanks so much for sharing that and contributing.
Of course.
Well, now, because we voted, we can move on to our next project. David, thank you.
Thank
very
you,
much
everybody.
appreciate you sharing that.
And John, I've got this one.
Okay, great.
Our next project for deliberation is Cabin in the Sky, temporary installation and performance as part of the Unmonument project. So, and I am passing this off to Emily Rose.
Yes, thank you so much, James. I am happy to present Cabin in the Sky by artist Ife Franklin, which is a temporary public artwork proposed for the Overlook ruins and Franklin Park as part of the Monument Initiative. The artist submitted the proposal last year, and we've since worked with the Boston Parks and Recreation Department to review the proposed installation. Next slide, please. Cabin in the Sky features a life-size cabin, live performances, and participatory activations, including a procession, projected images of ancestors submitted by African-descended community members. The project draws from Afrofuturism and the history of hush harbors, outdoor secret spaces that serve as places of refuge, resistance during slavery, and playing a critical role in Black resistance. The artwork will remain on site for about 4 to 5 days. Public activations are scheduled for next month on September 25th to the 27th from 7 and 9 p.m. with rain dates of October 2nd to the 5th. In addition, there will be a community cabin making workshop that will take place on September 6th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. with just bookish. Next slide, please. So for the installation plan, the cabin will be a temporary freestanding structure elevated on precast concrete footings and a wood frame base with a modular roof. It will be fabricated off-site, transported to Franklin Park, and assembled on-site by the BRM team. Adjustable concrete footings will allow the structure to be leveled while avoiding excavation, while avoiding ground disturbance. Weather-resistant tremors will be used to protect the structure for, I did not mean to say tremors, my apologies. Just weather-resistant sea sealers will be used to protect the structure from outdoor exposure. To speak a little bit about the performance, and we're going to take a look at this map over here. Community members will follow the proposed yellow pathway accompanied by soft ambient audio. There will be projected ancestor images and a solar-powered lighting that will create an illusion of a starry night. There will be additional projections that will illuminate the surrounding trees, the rock, and the cabin. As the community members gathered in the designated area, which you see here in the bottom image, there will be a temporary stage that will be installed for performance that will be removed afterwards. The performers will move throughout the audience while storytelling and narration take place on stage. With projected ancestor images and lighting on the cabin, creating the illusion that the structure is lifting into space. In terms of deinstallation, BRM will install and deinstall the cabin, restoring the site to its original condition. There will be overnight security, and there will be daily site inspections that will be provided throughout the installation. There will be weather and protection equipment that will be monitored before each activation, and minor maintenance will be addressed as needed. I went by that really quickly, but I'm happy to take any questions. We can go on to the next slide. Any questions or concerns, please feel free to ask.
Thanks, Emily. Commissioners, does anyone have a question or a comment about this temporary installation?
Hey, Emily, thank you so much. I'm very curious, is the expectation for the artist that most visitors will engage with this project in the daytime or in the evening? I'm just concerned about the visibility of projection during daytime hours.
Yeah, so the activation will be taking place at night. BRM is looking to lighting support to make sure that community members can be able to find the installation. We'll also have signage as well that will also help folks be able to get to the site. And we'll also have facilitators who will also be guiding community members just in case they get lost along the way. So we do have some precautionary measures so that folks can find the artwork.
That's great. Thanks, Emily.
Any other commissioners?
I'm going to speak up and just appreciate the participatory aspect of the performance that's built into this physical manifestation.
Thanks, Abigail. Due to the silence, I'm guessing no more comments, questions from, or were you going to say something, John?
No.
Splendid, splendid. I open it up to the general public. Does anyone have a question or a comment about this temporary installation?
Hi again. I just wanted to say that I really love this installation because I feel like it shows a part of history that we often don't get to see. And I feel that this part of the history of Black history is very underrepresented. And so I'm so happy to see this installation as a manifestation and reminder of the resilience and the practices that they had to keep remembering and also honoring all of their experiences.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? I'm scanning. I can't see. And since I can't see, there are none. Commissioners, does anyone wish to make a motion about this temporary installation as part of the monument project?
Sure. I move to approve the temporary installation cabin in the sky.
Thank you, John. Is there a second?
So seconded.
Lovely, Ian. Commissioners, when I call your name, you know what to do. John?
Yes.
Ian?
Yes.
Caitlin?
Yes.
Kenny?
Yes.
Abigail?
Yay.
And I'm a yay and yes as well. Congratulations. We look forward to this installation and performance.
Thank you so much.
Our next project for deliberation is Caminantes, Wayfarers, a temporary installation in LoPresti Park. And Emily Rose, I pass this off to you.
Thank you so much, John. For our next project, Caminantes, Wayfarers by artist Salvador Jiménez-Flores, in partnership with the Urbano Project, is a temporary public artwork that is proposed for LoPresti Park in East Boston as part of the A Monument Initiative. The artist had submitted the proposal last year, and we spent the last year working with the Parks Department to review the proposed installation. Next slide, please. Caminantes Wayfarers is a vibrant public sculpture honoring Boston's immigrant communities and their contributions to the city. Inspired by the resilience of the cactus, the work explores migration, adaptability, land, and belonging. The artwork is anticipated to remain on site for about 18 months. Our office is coordinating Parks and the Disabilities Commission to ensure that the installation meets accessibility requirements, including a minimum 4-foot accessible path of travel around the artwork. Upcoming public events will be announced in early fall. Next slide, please. As for the installation plan, installation is anticipated for late September or early October, with final dates to be confirmed. The larger sculpture components will be delivered along Duhart Avenue and transported to the installation site using a forklift and the existing park pathway. BRM is also finalizing the attachment and ballast methods. Once confirmed, the 3 pedestal locations will be reviewed with the artist to ensure proper alignment and placement. To speak a little bit about the materials and protecting the site, the sculpture is made of bronze and corten steel. Corten steel will naturally develop a rust patina over time. Our office and BRM are working with the Conservation Commissions and the Parks Department to address potential rust runoff and the project site throughout the installation. The sculpture bases and concrete surfaces will be treated with protective sealants, and there will be routine maintenance that will address any remaining or potential runoff as needed. Our goal is to ensure that the artwork is safe, accessible, and well-maintained throughout its 18-month installation, which will allow the site to be fully restored following the installation. Next slide, please. That seems to be pretty much what I have to share today. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to ask.
Thanks so much, Emily. Any commissioner questions or comments? Surely someone has one. Well, in that case, I will pass to any members of the public who may have a question or comment about this project. Don't see any hands. With that then,
Well,
would a commissioner, oh,
before
go
you-
ahead.
Let me just be the sole person to have a comment. Emily, can you just clarify about the rust that you talked about in terms of, I know you said that the cement will have some sealant, but is that still going to prevent any of that staining moving forward, like over the cement and onto the ground where it is?
Yes, speaking with BRM, they have recommended some good sealants that can help protect the concrete. We're still reviewing the final sealant that would be used for the site. Our goal is to make sure that we leave the site to its original condition. So we're taking all the measures possible, and we're still working with Parks to make sure that we're sealing the bases, the concrete. We're also leaving some space between the artwork and the concrete as well, so there can be some airflow moving. So if there is any potential runoff, and with the maintenance plan as well, we will catch anything to make sure that there isn't any rust. If there is, it'll be very, very little or to none. But we're still working with BRM to ensure that there isn't any runoff.
And I'll just jump in and add, we also kind of reviewed this with our conservation and maintenance consultant, house doctor, who does work for the city's collection data list. And they kind of confirmed what we have full confidence in BRM, but they confirmed as well that that is the path they would recommend to avoid any staining and rust. It was sort of freeze in time the rust condition of the core 10 where it is when it's installed with the sealant. So anything should be quite minimal.
That's great. Thanks, Birgit and Emily.
Sure.
With that, I'm curious if any commissioner would like to approve this temporary installation at LoPresti Park.
I can move to approve this temporary installation.
Thanks, Ian. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Caitlin. After I say your name, Commissioner, say yes if you agree with the motion. James?
Yes.
Caitlin?
Yes.
Kenny?
Yes.
Abigail?
I'll abstain.
Ian?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. The motion passes. And James, I'll pass it to you for our final project of the evening.
Is it, John? Is it the final one? Our last project for deliberation is stone maps, and I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, Rudieres for the dispossessed. And Emily Rose, once again, passing this off to you.
Thank you so much, James. This will be our last project for review for tonight. I'm happy to present Stone Maps, Rudders for the Dispossessed by artist Keon Williams, a temporary public art sculpture proposed for Cobbs Hills Terrace in the Boston's North End area as part of the Unmonument Initiative. The artist submitted the proposal last year, and we spent the last year working with the Parks Department and the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services to review the installation. Next slide, please. Stone Maps explores traces of Black history embedded in Boston's landscape. The sculpture will be installed adjacent near the historic site of New Guinea, Boston's first free Black community, and near Cobbs Hills burying grounds, where more than 1,000 Black Bostonians are buried, many in unmarked graves. Earlier this year, the artist engaged the North End community through a community meeting to share the concept and gather feedback. Our office is also working with Parks, BRM, and the Disabilities Commission to ensure a safe and accessible installation. Upcoming public programming and events will also be announced in early fall. Next slide, please. To speak a little bit about the fabrication and installation plan, from the previous slide, you had noticed that the sculpture consists of 5 volcanic stones that have been transported from Senegal and will be fabricated in New York before being installed in Boston. The stones will be secured to reinforced concrete bases with a coated steel ring to protect the existing pavers from rust and staining. The completed sculpture will weigh approximately about 2,400 pounds. Inside the steel ring, there will be gravel added. That's where the extra pounds are coming from. Our office, Parks, and BRM, and the artist team will be coordinating the installation and deinstallation with appropriate safety protocols following the 18-month installation, and the site will be restored to its original condition. Here, I just have some project renderings from the artist and from BRM that's giving us a little bit more insight of how the artworks will be installed. I want to speak a little bit about the maintenance plan for the work. The sculpture will receive a protective UV coating to prevent permanent damage from graffiti and other unwanted markings. Our office, BRM, and the artist team will conduct routine inspections with minor surface residue addressed using appropriate cleaning methods and specified treatments. You can move on to the next slide. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you again for your time and consideration. Any questions or concerns, please feel free to ask.
Thanks, Emily. Commissioners, does anyone have a question or a comment about this temporary installation?
I have a question for you, Emily. You may have addressed this. My attention was drawn away for a minute. But is there, because this is a highly abstract installation, but also very meaningful, and connected to an important neighborhood narrative, is there signage that will allow people to understand what it's about?
Yes, so we are working with our signage consultant so that folks will understand what the artwork is about. We haven't decided what the final design of the signage will be, but there will be signage there that will talk about a little bit about the artist, the project, why it is cited in that location, and the importance of this location as well. And I'll be happy to share that with you directly through email once we do have signage, if you're interested in seeing the design.
Thank you, Emily.
I'll just add that there also, the artist potentially plans to do engagement events around this work. A lot of this work is inspired by the speculation that Phyllis Wheatley and her child are buried at Cobbs Hill Terrace. It's not confirmed, and it's just maybe presumed. So there'll be other information shared in the signage, and with maybe a QR code that links to the website and any other kind of engagement activities around the work and inspiration of this piece.
I may have missed this, but beyond the origin of these black stones being in Senegal, what other connection do these forms have with the site? Or is there a kind of, what is the symbolism here, in other words? Do you have a sense of that from the artist?
Yeah, thank you so much for, oh, go ahead, Birgit.
Oh, no, you could go ahead, Emily Rose.
Yes, so earlier this year, the artist had a beautiful residency in Senegal. And I want to speak a little bit to why the stones were transported from Senegal to New York. The artist is based, their practice is based in New York. When they did their residency, they were collecting the stones. It is believed that Phyllis Wheatley was born in Senegal, and so connecting from her migration, not migration, from her traveling from Senegal to Boston, the artist wanted to connect both of those sites together by bringing the stones from Senegal.
And I'll just add, I think the design intent also speaks to sundials and ideas about mapping and prevailing ocean currents, and her journey from Senegal to Boston, and then again, and then to London for the publication of her first book of poetry.
Great, thank you. That's helpful.
I also have a couple questions. Do you know if the artist has presented this to the Disabilities Commission? I see this, and again, this might just be the rendering, that it's on a sidewalk, also near a bench. I don't know if that's like a actual image of the site, but in terms of mobility and access with people that have mobility needs, is that something that we've considered and had the commission review these plans?
Yeah, thank you so much, Kenny, for bringing that up. I have brought this to the Disabilities Commission. I'm waiting for them to get back to me, but I will say, based on this rendering, the artwork will not be as close to the bench, because there does need to be a requirement, at least 4 feet from the bench, so that folks can be able to walk around the artwork. And we'll also speak with the artist on the placement, on the final placement of the work, so that it aligns with the Disabilities Commission and also with parks as well.
Yeah,
Will
and
we
what might be clear from this image, Kenny, is that this terrace is actually quite large. So it's, to the left of this image is a large area of also flat asphalt surface.
A follow-up too, let's say someone who this is their normal course of walking and this is installed, and is there a way to again prevent that people who may have low visibility or who use this pathway on a consistent basis? Again, I don't want to presume, but I just want to make sure that this isn't creating enough of a obstacle for commuters based on its location.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. It's set down from the sidewalk and off of like direct paths of travel. But if somebody is accustomed to coming through this area and they use like cane detection, the the height of the perimeter around these stones meets ADA requirements for the height for cane detection. So where it has been reviewed as far as meeting those standards for accessibility.
Thank you. And this one's a wish. Maybe there's a collaboration between Ife and the artists here around connecting and, you know, reaching out to ancestors. So I'm pretty excited. But yeah, thank you so much for this.
Kenny, that's a nice suggestion. One question that I had, Emily Rose, you had said there is gravel in the installation. Is that loose gravel or sort of fixed?
It will be based on our conversation with BRM. It would be loose, correct, Birgit? But
Just loose gravel.
yeah, just
And-
loose gravel. Yeah.
And just to follow up with that, I know that there'll be sort of regular maintenance checks. And so if some of that gravel gets depleted or moved, that can then be sort of cleaned and neatened and replaced as necessary.
Yes, it's kind of assumed that the visual inspections will include like checking on the gravel as it is shifted. And the gravel as a design proposal and solution was an alternate to a steel plinth, which would have been much heavier, more costly, and require different kind of installation and deinstallation procedures. So this was a design informed by like this being an under 2-year project that we could maintain for that period of time as gravel.
Thanks, Birgit.
Sure.
Oh, it's me. So are
I
there,
forgot too, James.
are there any other comments or questions from the commissioners? Okay, you got them all out. General public, are there any questions or comments that you have about this temporary installation? I hear nothing, and I'm guessing there are no hands.
I don't see any, James.
Emily, before I open this up for a motion, and I think Birgit, you mentioned that Phyllis Wheatley, there's no confirmation that her body and her child are there, but it seems like the whole story of this installation is about her and her journey. And I guess I'm just saying that out loud, just so it's just inferring something, but we can't actually say that she's there.
Yeah, it is speculated through research, but the Parks Department, who oversees the burying ground, is very clear that they can't confirm that. So that we just want to make sure we're sharing that information.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So with that being said, is there a commissioner who wishes to make a motion about this temporary installation?
I move to accept the temporary installation for stone maps, retiers for the dispossessed in Cops Hill Terrace.
Thanks, Abigail. Is there a second?
I'll second that, James.
Thanks, John. When I call your name, just respond. John,
Yes.
Ian,
Yes.
Caitlin,
Yes.
Kenny,
Conditional yes, pending approval from the other commissions?
Abigail,
Yes.
and I am a yes, along with Kenny, with the other confirmations coming along. And with that being said, the motion has carried. Congratulations, Emily, and to the artists, and we look forward to seeing this temporary installation.
Thank you so much, everyone.
And with that, commissioners, thank you so much for reviewing these 9 projects together tonight. Really appreciate it. And our last order of business is adjournment. So would anyone like to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thanks, Ian. Do I have a second?
Second.
Caitlin, thank you. James, you were shut out. Please say yes if you agree to adjourn. James,
Yes, yes.
Caitlin,
Yes.
Kenny,
All the yeses.
Abigail,
Yay.
Ian,
Yes, with apologies to James.
and I'm a yes as well. I just want to say, there's a lot of projects coming up, and I know a lot of installations to happen. So MOAC team, thank you so much for all of your work to make all these projects happen. And speaking for myself, I'm really excited to see a lot of these realized, and to visit them. So just thanks for all the hard work.
Thank you, John, and thank you all for like your thoughtful review and comments this evening. I know it was a full agenda, so thank you very much.
Until next time.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody. Thank you.